All right, we're talking about house plants. Now, there are two different ways to say this. Some of the plants are harder to kill than others, or you could say, what is the easiest way to keep them alive if you want? If you don't have that green thumb, we have the perfect plants for you right now. Kendall Marin from Bell Nursery is joining us, and you brought the plants that are, one way we could say, the most difficult to kill, shall we say,
yes,
or the easiest to stay alive. Depends on if your glass is half full or empty.
Great for beginners.
Great for, oh, that's
that?
See, look at this. Are you a politician too?
That's right.
Hey,
every once in a while.
Finding the right way to say it. Okay, so we were just talking about some of these plants here. These, you see these whenever you go into grocery stores, when you go into
Home Depot.
any Home Depots
That's
or anything
right.
to that effect. You walk in there and you'll see these plants out. And these are the ones that are set right in front, and supposed to be the easiest to do. But however, I have killed some of these plants.
You have. Well, typically water and light are the key ingredients to being successful.
Okay.
A lot of these, the reason that they're on our harder to kill list is they are tolerant of lower light situations. Okay. Obviously, a lot of us live in homes that don't have tremendous amounts of light in every room, so some of these are just a little bit more forgiving. There are also varieties that either don't need as much water, or they're very forgiving if you tend to leave them a little thirsty for a little while.
So you tend to forget about them every once in a while. So what's the first sign that you should look for? If you see a house plant and you say, oh, do people overwater sometimes?
They do. It's one or the other. I tend to water once a week. I water on Sundays so that I always know where I am in my rotation. Okay. And some things get more than others. Okay. Pothos over here is the perfect beginner plant, in my opinion. It can live in almost darkness. You mentioned you had pulled one out of the trash sometimes, so they are very forgiving. Yeah. If they need water, they'll wilt. They're very speaking. Okay. They'll tell you they're thirsty, and they'll snap back. Yep, exactly.
What about down front here?
The snake plants up here are a type of succulent, so they really only need water about once a month, depending on what size pot they're in. A smaller container is going to need water a little bit more often than a bigger container. All right,
and probably like one more family of plants. Then over on this side, we have some variegated, some variegated leaves over here. So tell me about those.
Dracaena. All of these are a kind of Dracaena, which is one of my favorites. Again, really tolerant of lower light. They'll also take brighter light. Typically, the more variegation they have, as you mentioned, the variegation is the striping in the leaves. The more sunlight they will take or prefer to keep that contrasting color. And
then height too is a big issue. So talk to somebody at Home Depot to find out if it's a dwarf, or if you run a really big one for the larger areas.
Sure, most of these are gonna stay within the size container they're in. They may go up a size or two over the next few years, but I had one of these for almost 20 years that I never repotted. Okay. So it is
really easy, very simple. If I could do it, you could do it, right? It's that easy. Water in the right spots. Thank you very much, Kendall Marin. Well, to learn more, just log on to foxbaltimore.com/morning. Coming up.